Hey everyone, welcome back to Playcast with another episode of Your Turn with your hosts, Parker the Goblin.
And Ghost, your co-host.
And this week, this would probably be our last week doing a Your Turn where we actually aren't playing stuff live. We're going to actually have stuff installed and ready to play. Like, we just tested our streaming and our streaming's working very well. So we're going to start actually playing live again. So now, basically, this week didn't have too many things. There was an interesting thing that did happen with GTA. GTA got leaked.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I guess it was the pre-alpha.
Supposedly like a pre-alpha, pre-beta, something to that point. Like players can't play it yet. It's still like in a lot of internal testing.
Yeah, it's all development stuff. I guess they checked the source code and it was actually the real thing because somebody thought it was this is just a mod of GTA 5. They had the source code and everything too, so
oof.
Yeah, it's a big leak.
Yeah, and I didn't pay attention too much of it, but I did hear that like the lead character is a Latino woman that's like very progressive, very woke, very gross, and her boyfriend's like a scrawny white dude, can't even open a bottle or something like that.
Why a white guy?
Because he's so soy. And then he has to pretend to be a extremist white nationalist or something like that to get into. So basically, low-key Trump supporter groups and stuff. And so he's going to pretend to be a Trump supporter and all this crap. It's like by the time GTA 6 comes out, that all of that is going to be so aged. It's going to be like fine milk.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if they know how to do it right, I wouldn't mind. Like if they make fun of both sides, like to the extreme that like, oh my god, both these groups are like ridiculous. But yeah, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to write people.
Well, they don't. Even if they tried to play both sides, I don't even think they know how to write both sides. Period.
Yeah.
Well, like
it's all written by like robots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're using some kind of AI writing algorithm now because 5 is absolute trash.
Well, I heard 5 also came out like unfinished because they pushed Shark Cards so hard that we didn't get most of the features until like late. So, yeah. And
then on top of that, like very specific dedicated servers even cropped up fixing the problems that they were waiting for Rockstar to do and fix, which just tells me how much like Rockstar's fallen behind. Like this is another sign, and I'm gonna try to beat this dead horse until it's like into just pure bone dust, but it's another sign that like these titanic AAA developers are like that. Not only are they out of touch because they're so high on their fucking ivory towers, but they develop so slowly. They're like giant ships that can't write their direction at any time, and they develop only one project with like 4 or 5 studios, and it takes like 6 years, 7 years, 12 years. There's some games that are taking 20 years to develop because it just takes so long for them to do something. And by the time they get that down, a new engine comes up that makes that easier. So they're going to do that. But then they have to learn the engine. Like,
yeah,
it's a constant with these people. And GTA 6 and 5 and Rockstar in general is a prime example of that. We will never see another Smuggler's Run. Rockstar is basically dedicated as the go-to for... My phone is loud. It's like the go-to for just the just GTA. So
I don't know. If anything, like all would have been forgiven if they just gave us our freaking mods. Like I just want our mods. Yeah, and they killed it all.
Yeah, like the thing is because some mods can like disrupt other people's play too. So I can understand it. Like if you can mod something and it kind of breaks for the other person if you're playing online. Then I can see where it's coming from.
Well, that's what dedicated servers are for.
Yeah, and that's what. But the dedicated servers have to do their mods, not the people. You know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And when it's a single player game, then honestly, like I don't. When it's a single player game, have you noticed that nobody really goes into complaining about mods? They just kind of let them do their own thing.
Yeah.
And we do that. That's it. You know. And it makes it like I think like for instance, Bethesda loved it because it made Skyrim sell constantly every time somebody made some new crazy mod that everyone got into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Macho Man Randy Savage dragons. For some reason, that was really popular. It looked gross. It didn't really move right.
It cursed us out.
And it was cursed. It was definitely cursed. But it was so widely popular that it gave them a spike of sales, and they didn't even have a sales price on it.
Yeah.
It was still $60. So, yeah, no, that's what I think. What's going on with a lot of major developers, and Nintendo's not even like. Not guilty of that. Nintendo's guilty of that too. I mean, look how long fucking Zelda. This has been the longest gap between Zeldas that we have ever had, and that's it goes for the same reason. There's one team that's all they're ever gonna do. It's just years and years and years of developing the next Zelda and the next Zelda and the next Zelda and the next Zelda. I mean, thankfully, and I hope more companies do this. Nintendo has a couple small teams that are doing their ports or doing their remasters or doing something else, and I think more companies would benefit from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like the whole Tales of Symphonia. Somebody, if they had some company that Namco was able to tap into, it's just port Tales games. Just here's a whole load, remaster them all, get them on new consoles. If they're directly tied like Symphonia 1 and 2, release that, even though that's not going to happen, so 2 is probably going to sell like crap.
Well, even then, I think Bandai just needs a porting team altogether, because their ports has always been...
Yeah, they
like, always had issues.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they need small teams to either port or do, like, experimental work or do P-class games. Rockstar needs to do it, Namco needs to do it, Microsoft needs to do it, Sony needs to do it, Capcom needs to do it. Like, I can make a whole list of stuff to do that with.
Which also reminds me about Toad the Biscuit, because I can't remember who he was. He was talking about this one guy who, whenever Namco would release anything on Steam, he would be the go-to guy to just release the patches for it. Like he knew everything from inside out, and I think they actually hired him. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like they shouldn't be doing a bunch of stuff for. And just throwing stuff together and just hoping somebody understands it and then just hire them. Mm-hmm. That's just that's risky, because what if you make a game nobody really likes, and it becomes a cult classic later after all of it has died. You can't hire anybody to fix that now.
Yeah.
Like it's dumb. It'd be dumb. But yeah, and I think ultimately we're gonna see a lot more shit like that, and people who are trying to be all hip and in the know. Dude, GTA 6 is not going to be developed and released anytime in the next 3 years to even, like, capitalize on woke culture nonsense. Honestly, I feel like the pendulum's already swinging to a point where, like, the whole claiming white people are evil thing is going to get people in a lot more trouble than they are now.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
there's going to be a backlash.
They're calling out for absolute desecration of, like, graves of white people now. Like, we need to go ahead, exhume these all, and just throw them in the river or some crap. I'm like, that's messed up, And eventually, somebody's gonna be bold enough to try to do that, and there's gonna be full backlash, and the pendulum's just gonna swing even harder the other direction, and it's just gonna be. It's going to be brutal against these woke people, and I'm going to laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. I'm not going to villainize you. You did that yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you deserve no grave. You did that yourself. All I'm going to do is laugh, because you guys are so ridiculous, so useless, and so like self-serving that the only idea that they've ever tried to get done is the idea of changing things, and they think they did it for their own good. They just want the back pat that they changed the world. Congratulations, you made one character more negligible than before. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, you made Mermaid black because you think that was more progressive. And it's supposed to be this way. I'm like, all right, then if that's the case, expect Matt Walsh to be George Floyd in a video. That's what you're gonna get next, honestly. And again, you did it to yourself, and I'm going to laugh and laugh and laugh. But GTA 6 and the leak is not the only thing that recently came around. We had a
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. forgot the name for a moment there.
So Edgerunners,
Edgerunners decided to release. It's some weird anime wannabe bullshit, and
it was done by Studio Trigger. So people who are like huge anime nerds know.
Yeah. So
they show up for the animation.
So if you guys are wondering what Studio Trigger is known for, they're known for Shantae intros. You're welcome. But
Gurren Lagann and Little Witch Academia.
So yeah, they.
Oh, and Fully Cooley.
Yeah, so that's I think that's probably going to be the biggest key one there. So they did Edgerunners, and for some reason, Cyberpunk's cool for the first time ever.
Well, you're not going to get Rebecca, but you get Pan Am. So yeah,
gross. And she's gonna T-pose on you, dude. She's gonna T-pose on you, and then like her wrists are gonna break and flap around and stuff.
I was day one. I had no issues.
He lies.
I told you it was a good game.
He lies. It's still a bad game.
Well, thankfully, CD Projekt Red is bringing a lot of support back to the game. There's like tons and tons more patches coming up.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be like, oh, shit, sales. We could probably make money off of this now. Yeah.
So we'll see what other games that are going to get animes to revive their...
Witcher?
Witcher gets an anime.
No, Witcher 4 is already being in the works, so...
Okay.
We'll see how that works. I'm half expecting Geralt to eventually be in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
In Smash Brothers Ultimate 2 or something like that. And he's just like... His final smash is just him in a tub and like kills all the women's.
So what's gonna be a game? What's gonna be an anime that's gonna revive a dead game, right? Babylon's Fall anime, right?
Lost Planet. I'm gonna say Lost Planet. You want to know what's funny about Lost Planet?
Mm-hmm.
Capcom also lost it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know where it is. Somewhere in some Western studio once.
We got Sensuality coming, so whatever, we're good.
So, yeah, there's that. And then, so, any more details on the whole anime thing and stuff? Like, is there like huge plans and stuff like that going on?
Well, because it did really, really well. Hopefully it gets a sequel, but for the most part, they only did, however, I haven't even seen it yet, but everybody keeps talking about it. It looks really good, but here's hopes for a second season because of how popular it is. What was it? Everybody wants to see a second season, so we'll see what they do. But
it'll probably take forever because just like The Witcher was like, we're only doing one season, and everybody's like, we like Henry Cavill because that makes our pants wet. And that was just the dudes. The women were just walking around leaving snail trails. But
Henry Cavill's a good guy, though. I like him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He makes my pants wet. So, but like for real though, yeah. I don't know, like they might just do that and then like near the end of their releases they're gonna be like, wow, this is still number one on their list, so we might as well try to look into it. So it's gonna probably be delayed.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll probably see a season 2 in like 3 years.
If anything, I have a feeling we're gonna see like a spin-off on the series. So it'd be like Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the game, or something like that, like to get people interested.
Made by the same people who made the old Code Lyoko game like way back in the GameCube era, and like that was the only game they ever made. They just like came back to do it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be horrifying.
So yeah, I see something like that happening. So yeah. Or like some kind of like $10 expansion pack where you get like the whole game plus you get the Edgerunner characters or something like that.
Or you get like cross-reference like costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that you can like wear in your actual game and stuff. I could see that happening. Like. Real talk. But I
haven't touched it in a while, so maybe I should go back. I don't know.
Maybe
start a new file.
Maybe start a new file. Start fresh. But that's not the only thing. There's a couple interesting things that just happened that I like. Y'all can piss off if you don't. But SteamWorld Dig is finally released. Okay, then fuck off. So, but no, SteamWorld Dig was not SteamWorld Dig. Shovel Knight dig. Shovel Knight
Okay.
dig. So
Shovel Knight. Gotcha.
Shovel Knight dig. Are you gonna be more excited about that now? Steam Shovel Knight dig is finally released. Okay, fuck off. But no, it's been a and the reason why I'm actually excited isn't because I'm like I am a big Shovel Knight fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a diehard fan. Like I'm just pumped about everything they release all the time. I'm just really excited about it because honestly, this kind of shows where Shovel Knight's going to go as a franchise and stuff, and kind of like gives you a taste of what Shovel Knight's flexibility can do. And because of that, that kind of like gives you an idea of where they're going to end up being next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's more why I'm excited. Is the future and the potential of Shovel Knight being greater than what they already are.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have faith in what they do because they don't fuck up their Kickstarters. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's like a really good trait right there. It's not fucking up your Kickstarters and actually informing your fans the entire time. A certain Quinn should know. But yeah, like it's just, I think it should like they keep basically most of their word. And some of the stuff that they promised on having, like playable characters, went above and beyond. They're like, we just made them separate stories altogether.
Oh, geez, that's nice.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's what the King of Cards, the Spectre of Torment, and the Plague of Shadows. Yeah, Plague of Shadows were for the Shovel Knight game. They're basically sub-series and origin stories of King Knight, Plague Knight, and Spectre Knight.
Okay.
So, yeah. Stuff like that. And that's what, like, honestly, that's another thing I kind of like. Shovel Knight is has given me a lot of vibes that feel very Mega Man-y.
Okay.
Like, all the knights are all, like, unique characters and stuff, too. Like, and they have their own themes and such. So...
Spirits are getting restless.
I know. This is what happens in the mausoleum.
October is arriving.
We are literally a week away, and in the mausoleum there's some coffins been rattling about. They're ready for it. They're ready for it. Spooky, scary skeletons are coming about, man. They're coming about. But yeah, no. So I'm kind of excited to see what this means for Shovel Knight as a whole. I do like one of my favorite characters so far is Spectre Knight and this new Prism Knight. Like, just the design wise.
I mean, I think this is good news for indies as a whole because it's like, hey, look at these little guys who know what the hell they're doing.
And like Shovel Knight's becoming big, and like that just tells me there could be so much more like potential for other companies with their own brands and stuff. And we've talked about too, like service games. What if a game like Brawl Stars or Battle Right decides to make a game that's based off an adventure game or something like that and uses the same assets or not same assets but characters and designs and styles and stuff like that and kind of show your world in a completely different context.
Well, it's nice that they keep their mouth shut too. It's like, we're just here to sell our games. Like,
well, yeah, and I think that's the problem is I don't think social media is the only thing forcing them to say it. I do think governments are kind of pressuring them to say something.
That's so stupid.
Like, because it feels so weird that so many companies will do it every time something drastic happens.
Well, it's also like
they just like kick in the door and like, bitch, you better pick a side now.
Well,
I'm like, dude, we're just trying to sell games.
Too is that like you get hit pieces on you too, where it's like, hey, we noticed that you didn't donate money to us. Time to write another hit piece.
Yeah,
like, yeah. It's like clockwork because I can't remember what game it was too, but that also happened because it was just like some good little indie game, and then because they didn't like, they're like, we're just here to sell games, and then hit pieces started coming out on them. Stray was like that too, because Stray was just like, it's just a cat game. Oh my god, look at this racist cat. Like,
so Kotaku, just letting you know, you can go ahead and make a hit piece on us if you wish. In fact, I could give you some content if you want, and then you can turn around and lick my butthole. You can't do it to Ghost, he's ethereal. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's ridiculous, it's dumb.
Yeah.
You know, and we actually did a successful stream, and I was actually joking about what I'm going to do as far as advertisements. I think I'm going to probably lean into those type of hit pieces and stuff because it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It only lasts for so long until everybody just sits there and rolls their eyes at you every time.
Yeah.
Because you've given them an inch and they're like, I see that it's not the right shade of pink. It seems like that's a little bit more, you're not acknowledging the right criteria. I guess it's time to write another hit piece. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're dumb. You're dumb. You'll forever be dumb. There's nothing you're going to do to ever get smart. And you're useless to people, man. Stop. So, yeah. But I do think the way people, like companies, are coming out and taking a stance on stuff that's not even in their country. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
well, it's a good thing you don't live there. Like,
yeah, like, we stand for George Floyd. I'm like, fentanyl does too. So, fentanyl and like the whole border of Mexico where they're bringing in drugs, yeah, they stand for them too. Why? Because they know they're going to be able to get more. So, thanks, guys. Thank you for so much for standing up for that. You know, and you know, for like, I don't know. It's just, it just, I'm excited about the future with Shovel Knight and stuff. Like, I am. Like, the possibilities with Shovel Knight, I can't wait for more, like, companies that are going to do that as well. But I think we ranted enough about other political intrigue and nonsense this time.
GTA leak, Cyberpunk anime. Yeah.
Yep. Cyberpunk anime. And, Shovel Knight releasing, and for some reason just politic commentary sprinkled throughout, because apparently this was a slow news week. So I'd like to thank you guys all for listening, and if you like our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Most likely share if you would like to, you know, make sure we grow. And we will see you on the other side.